Hello LA232 students. In this video I'll show you the steps you'll need to complete the assignment, which I didn't quite get to, but it'll be very helpful for you to know. In Photoshop I've got the Jamestown site and I've already done the calculations to get this pretty close to 1 pixel is equal to 1 foot, and yours may or may not be exactly that. It's just convenient, and for this assignment it wouldn't hurt just to set it to that. So before I move on, it's pretty important. I'm going to go to image size, and I've already determined that 1 pixel is equal to 1 foot, so my image size is 1803 pixels wide. So that also means from edge to edge that represents 18,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel on that. I'll crop this down because that's probably more than I need, so I'll crop this down. And if I take my measure tool, which is right here, and I'll keep an eye on this area right there, I can just quickly tell that, yeah, I'm well within the required or the suggested 300 feet. Let's go back to image size, and just for convenience I'll show you something here to make this a little bit easier to digest. I'll go to canvas size, and I'm going to change this to 1200 by 1000. That's a nice easy number to remember. Because I've got this middle block selected, it just eats away at the image, but it doesn't change the pixel ratio or the pixel size. So it's saying it's going to make it smaller, but now I know that this image represents exactly 1200 feet across by 1000 feet tall, and that'll be helpful for the next step. So let me go ahead and save this somewhere where it's easy to find. Image format doesn't matter a whole lot. TIFF is fine, use that or JPEG. So this may be the first time that you open up Illustrator. I put this file or attached this file to the assignment 2. So there it is right there. Go ahead and click it, download it, open it up. Just a couple quick Illustrator navigation tips. The spacebar by default is pan. So if you press and hold the spacebar, you can move around. If you scroll up and down, it does that. If you scroll and hold on shift, it goes side to side. And if you get completely lost or disoriented, very useful trick, double click on the pan icon. So there's the pan tool, or the hand tool they call it. Double click, that will bring everything back into your view. And incidentally, use the pause button, use the rewind button as needed. So with the zoom tool, I can click and it zooms in. So if I click down here, it zooms in. If you hold down the Alt key, it toggles to a zoom out. So get used to doing that a lot. I'll zoom in by dragging a window. This part's pretty easy. Just go ahead and grab the text tool, select the necessary text, and enter your information. So putting the file here, placing the file and scaling it. This part is where everything up until this point with Photoshop is pretty important. You would want to go to File, Place, and navigate to the file that you've saved, that you know the pixel ratio. So I'm going to zoom out here. Now, this document is set up to be 11 by 17 inches. So you know from this edge to this edge is 11 inches. From this edge to this edge is I'm sorry, wait, that's 17 inches, 11 inches. Get the idea. And we want this to be at a scale that fits on here. So two things that are very important. We know from this corner to this corner is exactly 1,200 feet because we set that, and yours may be different. From top to bottom, I forget, I think it's 1,000 feet. Let's find out. Yeah, so 1,200 by 1,000. So relative to this piece of paper, if we want 1 inch to equal exactly 100 feet, we just need to change the size of this to be exactly 12 inches wide. Because from here to here is 1,200 feet. If that's also 12 inches, 1 inch will equal 100 feet. So how do we change the size? For that, you will want the transform window. So underneath window, transform, you should see a dialog like this. It'll have the position of your file, and it has the height and the width, as well as the rotation and the skew. And that depends, it changes depending on what you have selected. Select tools up here, you'll go to that a lot too. So with your image selected, I can see over here that it's 16 inches wide by by 13 inches, something tall. This just locks those, so if you change one, the other one changes accordingly. And I will change that to 12 inches. Hit enter. And let's undo that just to make sure that worked. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure it didn't change the mask, which I'll explain in a moment here. So 12 inches, enter, resized it. So I could position this on here, print this off, take a ruler that will measure exactly 12 inches because I know it's also 1,200 feet. This happens to be exactly 1 inch equals 100 feet. If you can get this far, it's pretty easy to tweak. Like if you want to try, for example, 1 inch equals 50 feet. Well, this would need to double in size. So let's go from 12 inches to 6 inches. Whoops, wrong way. 12 inches to 24 inches. There we go. So now, if I were to print this, take my scale to it, I can measure exactly 1 inch equals 50 feet. But a small problem here, it's much bigger than our sheet of paper. So the last thing that I will show you is you could either go back to Photoshop and crop this down, re-import it, and keep doing that until it fits. Or you can do what's called a mask tool. And if you can't find it, just search the help for it. But when you first import an image, you've got these control handles. And if I were to click and drag on that, it skews it and distorts it. We do not want that. But image is here, it's selected. You should see a mask button. Go ahead and click on that. Now that takes this boundary and turns it into just that, a mask. So if I drag it now, it's just masking part of the image. So we can make this a more appropriate representation. Move that over. There you go. Now if you click out here, do some other stuff, and you come back, you won't see that mask button again. But this is where you might want to use the direct selection tool, which is you got the black selection tool and the white one. The direct selection tool does just that. So if I double click, or if I click outside, click inside of this, see, I can still find the edges of my drawing and move it around. If I click on the edge of that mask, I should be able to get it, and I can adjust the mask. So hopefully you don't need to do that if you just kind of follow the directions, and you can hopefully get this far. Last step, save this as a PDF, and very specifically I say a Illustrator editable PDF. It's as simple as following these steps. When it's ready to save, all your information is correct, go to File, Save As, select PDF, navigate somewhere where it makes sense, hit Save, and on this next step you will see this dialog. Let's do this. Select High Quality Print. I'll explain all these some other class. And keep this checked, Preserve Illustrator Editing Capabilities. So this will create a PDF, which any PDF reader will be able to read, but you can also open it back up into Illustrator and perform edits. Save PDF. That is now on my desktop. Go to Blackboard, navigate to the assignment, follow directions, and upload it. And that is all you need to do. Any questions? Send me or Jake an email.